All right, guys, it's time for my annual game room tour. I shouldn't call it annual because I haven't done one since 2023, but we're going to do one here today. And right now you're seeing, this is one of my game rooms. This is the arcade room. This is the one that I like to think gives you that vibe of visiting a 1980s arcade. With the wood paneling and having all these games lined up that you can play. I have about 30 arcade one-ups in here that you're going to see, and this is a big attention getter when people come over, because a lot of these games are games that people grew up with, and they're able to come in here and play. I mean, I have everything from racing games. I have games going all the way back to Space Invaders, Asteroids, Centipede, all the way up to cult favorites and classics like Mortal Kombat 2, Tron, Street Fighter, Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I even have a claw machine in here, so the kids like to come in here. But that's not all. I also have a few virtual pinball tables here in this game room, along with a little gambling machine over there that you guys can play. A lot of people come in, when they come in here, they play it. A slot machine. It's one of the original. It's not a modified or anything like that. And then also I have up on top of here, these are all my modern games that you're also going to see. My modern game collection from PS5 to Xbox Series X to Switch 2. That collection is all up here that I keep in here because I have a game area that I stream and like to play at on my desk. So that's usually right here in this game room. But one of the cool things that I have is this mini arcades. That's right, I have a mini arcade, and this is courtesy of New Wave Toys. New Wave Toys sent a lot of these out for review, and it's pretty awesome. So sometimes we get some young kids that come over, they want to play on it, and they feel like it's something for them, in this space. I have a lot of statues and knickknacks and different things around that kind of, I'm not going to bore you with pointing them out, but you're going to get to see them here. And finally, in this space, I also have the podcast studio, the broadcast studio, which we'll get into in a different video, but you probably saw some glimpses of that. And then also, I mean, what's a game room without the comfort of some couches here, where people that don't really want to play games, or maybe they played a little bit and they just want to sit down and hang out and do whatever. We've got some couches here. So let's take you now to my hallway, which has a lot of stuff in it. Some of my prized possessions, I would say, when it comes to the collecting of the game room. So let's go check it out. When you first walk in the door, you see a couple of the banners from when I was at conventions as a special guest. And then at the bottom, you see a nice group of Super Mario Brothers stickers. Kind of tell a story, actually. They kind of get smaller as they go down, which is kind of cool. I've got some different posters here as well. And then I also have this World of Nintendo, which is a badge. I actually got this at one of the conventions, so I thought it looked kind of cool here. Right above me, I have another banner from one of the conventions I was at, Korg's. And then going down the stairs here, we have a Mario Day. I got from GameStop. Here on the side, you'll also see, this is an article that they did in Retro Gamer magazine. This is based in the UK, where they featured my game room. And so if you haven't seen that, go check that article out. Go pick up that game magazine, and you'll be able to see some of my favorite pieces in my collection. You also here have the magazine framed as well. And then some just oddball and odds gaming pictures, if you will, that we had and we just kind of added to it. I still got some spots that I need to put some stuff in, but for now, I got some of these promo items from GameStop for Super Mario Wonder, which is kind of cool. And then my son had a lot of these amiibos that he was like, hey, they look cool here on the ledge. So that's what we did. We just put them right here on the ledge. He went through a phase where he bought a lot of amiibos. And then obviously there's some stuff here that is promo items and things from collector's editions that I got from GameStop, and then the sign my buddy Angel made. You heard him and in other parts of this video as well. And just having some different oddball on-end items with these, you know, having the amiibos here and even the Donkey Kong barrel. Now, I also have this really unique piece of art that I had gotten for Nintendo. It has the Game Boy on it that I got from my buddy William. I have that here on the stairs, and this is a poster from Pittsburgh Gaming Expo in 2024, where I was also a guest. And then I got this really cool Star Wars poster of the original movie. And then on this side, as being a big Darth Vader fan, I have that picture, as well as this banner marquee piece that was made for me. And this really cool Zelda picture. And then I have another poster here of the Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. And then just a poster here of what's going on for Pittsburgh Gaming Expo. And then also the brand new Donkey Kong Bonanza amiibo. Just been debating whether I want to take it out or not. On this side of the wall, my wife worked at a daycare, and one of the teachers actually made these characters that we put up on the wall here. Pretty much all the characters, which is kind of cool. Makes it unique. I love unique stuff in the collection, kind of decorate on the way down. And then some of these stickers here I got online, and the cool part is I can peel them off and it won't ruin the wall. And then there's also a poster here for the Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And then again, some more of these just random pictures that you can put up, Gamer Zone and stuff that we got at Hobby Lobby, I believe. So we are in one part of my hallway that leads, so in here was the arcade room. Going this way, which we're gonna get into, is going to be the console room. But first I wanna hit up, in this hallway, I have a cool marquee that you're able to see. Has a bunch of different games you kind of greeted with when you come down here. Also a plethora of magazines, you know, go from Game Informer to Game Pro to Nintendo Power. You name it. I pretty much have it in this rack for video games that you can check out. Also this vintage telephone. This one was in my father-in-law's pizza shop. And when they took it out, they were going to throw it away. And I said to my mother-in-law, no, I want it. So we have it here in the game room. So it's a kind of a cool piece to come down here, because that's what we had at arcades. We had payphones. We didn't really have cell phones. So I want to show you a little bit more in this hallway of some of the collection that I have readily available right here. So let's take a look. All right, so right here we have the shelf. This shelf is, as you're seeing, is a lot of my complete in box Nintendo, Super Nintendo, N64 games. And a lot of these are special to me, and some of you guys might be looking at the games and go, man, I wouldn't have those boxed, or I wouldn't care about those. But a lot of the games, these are some that I had when I was a kid. And some of these boxes from the N64 era were my brother's. And so he gave me the boxes because he had no use for them anymore. He doesn't collect. So for me to have something like that, I mean, Super Mario 64, it's rare to find it in the box like this, because this was a pack-in game. So to have this in the collection and complete in box like that is pretty cool. I'm not saying you can't get it, it's just they're harder to find. So a lot of these games here, my Game & Watches and stuff, I like to have them out on display. These games don't get played because I have mega carts and stuff that have all the games on it already. These are more for display as well. I also have this rare Bonks shirt of a Bonks game that was supposed to be out for the Xbox, but it was never released. You're going to be seeing it here. This is on the brink of extinction. This shirt is so rare. There's only a few of them made, so I picked it up at a convention and I have it framed here inside of the frame as well. And you can see, like, there's some other pictures and such that are on the wall that my wife got me some of those pictures, and my daughter's boyfriend actually got me the bag from New York, from the Nintendo of New York. That's a few of the things here. Next I want to show you is something that's really, in my opinion, probably one of the highlights of my console collection, and that is my Kiosk collection. So let's take a look. All right, so one of the big display pieces that I have complete with the protective film is the Star Wars Battlefront from EA, and this has like some working LEDs inside of it. It's just, you know, some of you guys are gonna be like, that's a huge piece of display plastic and cardboard. Yeah, it is. It comes with a motion detector which triggers on the lights, but we use it, believe it or not, for the kids as a night light. When everything is shut off, I put extra red LEDs inside of it so that the kids, when they come down at night, it's always on, and so it lights up this hallway, because there's not really a light in this hallway. The people that built this house, they never put a light in here, so that's one of the lights. The other thing is these PS4 Kiosk. This is complete. I got it at a really cheap price, and then I had to put in some of the extra pieces for it, and I managed to get it all together and get it all clean, so it's playable. You can come over here and play it anytime you want, and you know, just having it here in the hallway allows you to just stand here and kind of play it, which is kind of cool. This is our bathroom inside of our game room. This is mainly the kids' bathroom. We have the shower over there and the toilet and whatnot, but one of the things that I had to do is I had to put a TV in here. I had an extra TV from the studio at the old house, so I was like, well, you know, I'm gonna put it up here. And then I had one of these Sega Genesis from Games that has built-in games, so wireless controllers, if you have to do your business for a long period of time, you can still game. And then we have a plethora of different posters and game covers in here. I even got a signed Billy Mitchell Token Tavern poster in here. So it's really cool. It just kind of fills the vibe of the game room as well. All right, so some might ask, walking in here, why do I have a sleeping bag with Mario on it? You know, for me, this has a lot of history behind it. It has a lot of nostalgia. When I look at this sleeping bag, there's a lot of things that come to my mind of my childhood that I remember doing. You know, having sleepovers with friends at the house, playing games. My brother and I, you know, when we were into wrestling figures, we used to lay this out because it was blue. It kind of resembled a wrestling mat. We put the wrestling ring on top, and there's just different things like that that come to mind and, you know, really stick out to me. Now, this is something that you don't see in the game room. This is kind of like my staging area behind the door. This is a lot of stuff, extra stuff that I have. The Miracle piano. I have some of the steering wheels from the Mario Kart when we have Mario Kart tournaments and stuff. I have some different retro fighters, controller boxes, some extra boxes from just random things that I stick behind the door because it's not necessarily something that I want to show, but it is something that I don't want to get rid of. So I have that. I have some 2 Sega Genesis up here. I think it's the 3rd generation. So that I put behind the door. I also have some of these bags, which you're going to see. I have the Switch 2 bag there. I have another Switch 2 bag. I have a bunch of. I have one from. This is from Pittsburgh Gaming Expo, a GameStop one. I have one from the Nintendo store as well. So I've gotten some bags, believe it or not, from just collecting and people getting them, and yeah, I just put them on the door. So let's take a look at the rest of the room. All right, so once you come through the doors, you have a bunch of these boxed systems all the way back to the Atari 2600, the Intellivision. These were ones that I had when I was a kid, that they were my dad and my mom's, and my brother brought them out for me to have in the collection. They don't get played, they just, again, it's nostalgia. It's something that I had. As you could tell, or maybe didn't tell, I grew up with Nintendo, so Nintendo is a very big piece of my collection. I have the Control Deck box, complete in box. I also have the deluxe set with Rob, the robot, which you're going to see here in the video. Mostly I went out and got a lot of the systems that I didn't have as a kid, like the Jaguar complete in box. I'm a little bit of a stickler when it comes to getting consoles. I try to get them complete in box because that is something that I just think it looks good on the shelf. I've got some rare systems as well. I have the Neo Geo CD. I have that complete in box, as well as the Atari Lynx, the 1st generation handheld, with that. And I also have the 32X completed box. As you're going to see, there's some specialty systems that I also have with the Wii U, with the Mario Kart, with the Mario 3D World, the Star Wars with the N64, and then also Star Wars. I'm a big Star Wars fan. The Xbox 360, which that is practically brand new. So having that in the collection, among other things here that you'll see boxes of, and little statues, 3D printed statues. Anybody that's watched live streams when I do game nights, I also have the cameras in here that we stream and show throughout the game night. Okay, so now earlier on in the video, you got to see my PS4 kiosk. Now you get to see the PS3 kiosk. Now it's not 100% complete. It's missing the arms for the controllers, but what I've done with it, I've actually put controllers here and just have the wire coming out so anybody can play the PS3 here. I have an extra PS3 inside here, as well as I have a multi-system. Everybody remembers those mini systems that came out. I have a Super Nintendo hooked up to it, a PlayStation. So when kids come over, they get to play that. And you can see some of the 3D printed statues that I've gotten over at conventions, and as well as different bags and different things that I find that are interesting to collect for. Also behind me, you'll notice there's more game systems in a box. A Panasonic 3DO is one that you don't see very often, especially the version of the Panasonic 3DO, the FZ-1. That is also complete in box. I had that. I had gotten that, and the CD-ROM didn't work, and I ended up combing eBay for months until I found it. Ended up paying $80 for the CD drive, opened it up, because I worked on computers. I ended up fixing it. Works great. Plays burn games, so I take some of the originals that I have and I copy them over, so that way I don't destroy, and I get to preserve the originals. Some of them that I have, which you'll see, are unopened. Behind that, you'll also notice that there's an N-Gage. That's another system that was a cell phone. That is something that is kind of hard to get, especially in good working condition. I have that with some sealed games as well. I also have my collection of Wii U, Wii, and also GameCube, PS4, PS3, and PS2 games, all right here with some different peripherals as well. So let's take you now over to where I do a lot of my filming that you guys always see on YouTube videos. Now, one of the things that you guys see in a lot of the videos is you see my TV here. I have a CRT TV complete with a Sega Master System, the Atari Jaguar, the TurboGrafx 16, the Nintendo, and a PC Engine. I have that because it just looks the best on a CRT TV. You'll also notice behind me, I'm going for the complete North American NES collection, and I think I'm at like 436 or something along those lines. Building the collection. I've got different things from Super Nintendo World. I've got the Rob. I've got a bunch of different pieces in the collection. The Power Glove, which everybody loves to hate. But I want to draw attention to the Power Pad set. Now, that was a set that I had. That was the first video game system my brother, my sister, and I got to share for Christmas. That holds a special place in my heart. A lot of people be like, why do you need all these different Nintendo box sets? And for me, it is that memory of Christmas morning, the year that we opened that up, and we were able to get that. So to have that in the collection, that's one of the things that I do cherish in my collection. Even though it's not the same one that I got as a kid on Christmas morning, I feel like it's still that. And I've got a bunch of different handhelds, and I think one of the coolest pieces that I've been able to pick up, along with some of the VHS tapes for the N64, has been a handheld that plays Super Nintendo games, which 8-Bit, I believe, makes that. So picking up different pieces for the Nintendo collection, having that here in my room, the Aladdin, having the complete collection of the Aladdin. And for those that don't know about the Aladdin, that was a spin-off of third-party games. It almost looked like a Game Genie, and you hooked the game into it and you could play it on your Nintendo system. Go back, I have a video on that as well. But one of the prizes of my collection has got to be stadium events. There's a long story behind it, but having this in the collection as going for the complete set is pretty cool. Also having this rare item, this is the golf game, which has the Bandai Namco sticker on it. This was in one of the kiosks in the European countries, and believe it or not, that sticker is what makes this rare and makes it valuable. It's kind of hard to believe, right? It's kind of crazy. So for in my collection, those are a lot of the cool things, little tchotchkes of Switch 2. As you're seeing here, a lot of this stuff is pretty cool. And remember, if you have any questions about this stuff, you can ask in the comments below. Now, let's take a look at another area where my controllers are at and some of the other cool stuff that I have. All right, so this area here has my tree from, this is a 3D printed tree, and Fang actually makes it. If you look it up on Etsy and look up Fang, he has a business where he makes these controller trees. I have a video on that as well on my channel. You can always look it up. I won't go into huge detail. But you saw Mega Man. Mega Man is another really cool piece that I have. It's a 3-foot Mega Man, 3D printed, that I got from the guys over at CC Retro Games up around the Cleveland area. I don't know the exact area, but they come to the game conventions, and that's where I picked it up. They gave me a really sweet deal on it. I think it looks really cool in the game room. My daughter, the littlest one, she really likes to come down here, and I guess because it's the same size as her. One of the other big, huge pieces of my collection, I've always wanted it since I started getting into collecting, is the Turbo Express. The handheld for the TurboGrafx 16. I got it completely recapped with an EverDrive in it, and it's awesome to sit and play with a brand new LCD screen. That and the Atari Lynx. Again, I never had that. Believe it or not, I play the Neo Geo CD an awful lot. I have Metal Slugs. I play a lot of that. I have some different collector systems. I also have some of these Game Boy systems, one of which has been completely recapped with an LCD screen, and that is my go-to playing system. I have the PlayStation 1 with the screen built into it. You can kind of say it's like a portable, but it's not really. But sometimes if I want to, I can take it upstairs. It's got a screen built in, and I can play it. My Sega Genesis collection is here. That is something that I've been toying around with doing a collection for next. I have Super Nintendo over here, the PSP. I have the 3DS, the PS Vita, Super Game Boy, the original Switch, OLED. I have a bunch of that stuff here. So I have a mismatch, a hodgepodge, if you will, of video games and video game systems behind me. Now let's take a look at probably my largest collection next to the NES, over with the Xbox. Okay, so as you can see, if you haven't already guessed it, my Xbox 360 collection is probably my second biggest collection. It used to be bigger, but I've curated it and gotten rid of a lot of bloatware or games that nobody really plays because I needed some room. But the Xbox 360, the Xbox Series X, I got a ton of games for those. My PlayStation 2 is also over here, and that's probably my third largest collection right now, is the PS2. During the earlier days, I was able to find those games, Castlevanias and stuff, at Goodwill's for like $2 a game. I also have my more PSP games here: Atari 2600 games, Atari 5200 games, PC Engine games, Sega CD games, Sega Saturn games. I have my Neo Geo CD games over here, and this Panasonic 3DO games are also over here. And you can see on the TV here, kind of off to my side here, this is actually running the Neo Geo X, the little handheld console that Neo Geo came out with that fits in what looks like an AES system. That here is connected to this TV, as well as a Super Famicom system and the OG Xbox, which is behind this baby, this graded game. Now, this graded game, believe it or not, I don't do a lot with graded games. I don't collect graded games. But I couldn't pass this up. A guy was selling this for $40. I offered him $30. He took it. This is like an $8 game, but because it's graded, it's worth almost $175 to $200. Don't ask me why. You're paying for the plastic and this little label, but that's what the going price is for the 9.9. There's not many 9.9s out there. So, of course, added it to the collection. And also you saw the Mario Kart Deluxe Happy Meal toys. You saw that I collected the individuals, but then I also got the display piece that you would see in the foyer of McDonald's that the worker there was so nice and kind enough to give me. It's so hard to find some of these sometimes because everybody wants to throw them out or they have license issues and whatever. But it was great to get that piece for the collection, to have it here in the game room. And as well as I have this Nintendo Switch Mario Day cardboard, which kind of is hidden behind everything, as well as a Brock Lesnar standee. You don't really get to see them because they're hidden in my game room because I just don't have the room currently. These signs that you're seeing, you saw the TurboGrafx sign, maybe the Nintendo, Sega. My good buddy Angel Otero from This Ability Upgrades, he makes these. So he was kind enough to make these for me. He's a few other ones that he's going to be making for me for the game room that I'm looking forward to it. And then, of course, I have, because being a Nintendo fan, I have Alarmo. This clock right here, I had to put it in the game room. I had to pick it up. I know it's a little bit of a gimmicky device, but I had to pick it up. So I have all these games. How do you play them, Steve? I'm going to show you right now. So as you're looking at right now, all these consoles, I know I'm going to get a lot of hate with being hooked up to an LCD TV, but I have them hooked up to an HDMI switch, which gives me different layers, A, B, C, D, to where each one of these is A, B, C, D, 1 through however. It's cool because a kid can come in here and let's say they want to play Sega, and I say, well, that's letter A. I can press letter A, and as soon as we turn the Sega on, it automatically shows here up on the screen. They don't have to worry about hooking it up and what wires do I need or what do I need to have. So one of the things that I wanted in my game room, as you're seeing, is the ability, as somebody comes in here, to play any game that they want based on everything set up. Now, you'll notice a lot of my games have the multi-carts in them. So every game that's in my game room, and then games that I don't even have, people have the ability to play. As I'm in the process of collecting everything, it really gives people an option to play these games and enjoy these games that maybe, like if I have it, and it's a very valuable game, and I really don't want people handling it, at least I have it on the multi-cart so that they can play it and enjoy it. You also notice, like, I have some action figures up on the wall from different characters from video games. But one of the things I want to draw your attention to is this Switch dock. Again, I mentioned Angel Otero. He actually made me and my son, these 3D Super Mario Brothers docks for the Switch that, you know, you can put some games inside of Mario and Luigi inside the warp pipes here. And it's kind of cool just to have that as a showpiece in the collection here. So I understand not everybody likes to play retro games on a HD TV, but it makes it nice to play the games. I want to show you the chairs that we use as well. These are the chairs that I have inside the game room. They're TFGC chairs. I did send away for them. We'll kind of show you. There's a company online. I forget what the name of it, because I bought these, like a year and a half ago. But the cool part is they have a little headphone area here on the end of the chair that you can put your headphones. They even have, believe it or not, because again, this was from an overseas company. They do a lot of wine drinking. They actually have a spot here that you can put your wine glass in there so it doesn't spill. Or, you know, a soda of some sort inside here, the cup holder. And then you also have a handheld or a controller area. So like if I want to get up and I'm playing my game here, I can stick my controller in here without anybody messing with it any way I want. Get up, go to the bathroom, come back, I can pull it out, and I'm ready to go without having the controller fall on the floor, get destroyed, get smashed. And the thing that I like about these, and I know there's a lot of people out there that are probably like, well, there's probably some other chairs that you can get. I like the fact that they're portable. I can fold them up, move them out of the game room, and if I need to use this space for a Mario Kart tournament, we use different chairs for that, and we set up the whole rig as a steering wheel. I can get these out, fold them up, take them out real quick. These are padded, which are really nice. They're comfortable. We're playing the games here. We can sit here on these chairs, and they work really well. I want to say I paid like $125 each for these. So they're very comfortable. They withstand a lot of weight. So you don't have to be, you know, if you have a friend that's just built a little bit thicker than you, you don't have to worry about them breaking the chair. It withstands a lot of weight. And so I'm very happy with this. But yeah, that's my game room. I hope you guys enjoy it. And, you know, leave a comment if you have any questions, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. It's really hard to show minute details in a game room when you don't know what people are really looking for or interested in. So again, I hope you like this. Until next time, keep it buzzing.